All right, here we go. Cool. Think we're all kind of set up here now. Yep, there we go. Seeing it live. How's the audio sound? Yep, audio's working. Cool. All right, we're back at it. Last time we did a stream, I kind of cut it off a little bit early just because I realized I didn't do enough planning in advance, which was totally my mistake. I thought I'd be able to like figure it out. I do these streams to kind of share my process, right? Like I'm doing this design anyways, and I want to share the process to help other people, and then also just like for my own personal reasons. I like being able to look back and kind of see my work, being able to document it, and I think that's cool. And the project that I'm working on right now is my portfolio, so it's like a really big project that I really want to be able to look back on and kind of see how it developed. And but anyways, kind of going back, I'm more prepared this time. I got like sketches. I did a bunch of sketches before this. We're going to be working on some more chapter opener layouts, which you might be wondering, like, why is it taking so long to do this? If you guys have already seen my streams before, this is like, I think the 4th stream that I've just been focusing on getting these chapter openers designed. And if you think about the broad range of things, right, like my book, I'm making a portfolio book. I'm a graphic designer making a portfolio book for those of you guys that haven't been following along. So I'm designing a book to put all my projects in, and part of that is creating a design system for the actual book itself. So what do the pages look like that announce a new project? And that's the thing that I've really been working on, is that. And then that's a really good starting spot. Once I figure that out, then I can translate that sort of design language to the rest of the book, as well as the cover. And then looking at a wider scope of things, that's also going to be the kind of visual system that I'm using for my business cards, my stationery. So the stationery are going to be the things that I print my like my resume on, any sort of cover letters, things like that. It's all going to be printed on stationery. And also this visual language is going to translate as much as it can to a web format. Obviously this isn't really a web focused class. If I was a web designer, obviously the website would have to be like custom coded. For the purposes of me, it's just going to be probably like a WordPress site with some design elements from my book brought in. Anyway, so that's kind of what I'm doing now. So I've gone through a couple rounds of designs. I'm creeping up on sort of what the project is going to look like so far, I think. And it's really just kind of making something that's unique enough to me and also sophisticated enough to kind of show my skills as a designer, because this is supposed to be like the best design project I've created this far, right? It's my portfolio. So this project has included me doing chapter openers, and it's also kind of including me going through and making some Photoshop mock-ups of my projects that I've done in the past, as well as editing photographs of other projects that I've actually had a photograph. And so probably not going to get into that tonight. I'll probably work on that more in the next stream. But for the purposes of tonight, we really kind of got to focus on this. I already have some new ideas that you guys haven't seen yet, and as well as some sketches that I had mentioned a couple seconds ago. So I got all these, or not, I guess it's not a whole lot of sketches, but I got a couple sketches here just for like different spread ideas. I think sketching is like a great spot to kind of start. So these are some sketches, that the ones that I just showed you, that's for like my actual portfolio. For 2 of the other projects that I've created already, this is more sketches for like how I want to lay out that project. So this is for a cookbook that I designed. You guys saw that in a past stream. So this is like how I just wanted to lay out the project in the book itself. Not necessarily, the idea was to kind of start with like a flow, like it starts with this, then it goes to this, and then I kind of got to the end, and then I thought of some other ideas. And so I guess this is just sort of like a library that I can choose from, right? Like all these different spreads. Maybe I want this one to be at the beginning instead, and it's just moving things around, trying to develop a nice pace. And then this one here actually helped me decide how to photograph this project. This is 3 different sized boxes, and I did this before I photographed the whole project, so that way I knew what type of photos that I wanted. So I knew that I wanted to do some close-ups, and then actually I haven't gotten around to editing these yet, but the idea was that I could just photograph it from I didn't take that many photographs, but just how I decided to crop them, we'll be able to create some interesting spreads that way. So like There's a crop version right here, but I could also use the full. It's a full photograph, and all I would have to do is just zoom in and InDesign. So, I guess the idea there is just to sketch first, and just take this off the clipboard. Now I was working on watching some TV when I was doing the sketches. So all right, so I'll show you what I got now. I got some new designs here. Very sort of Swiss designs, and I feel like I start here. Let me turn on a fan. It's getting kind of warm over here. I started my very first stream doing these. It was a very sort of Swiss look and feel, and I feel like I've looped back to that after doing some exploration. I did a lot of monospaced sort of stuff, which I personally like the look of, but for body copy, I don't think it works that well. So yeah, so anyways, I'm doing like a very sort of Swiss sort of design, and I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between, do I want the chapter openers to be a 1 spread deal or a 2 spread deal, meaning, so this would be like a 1 spread deal, right? Like all the information that I need, which would be things like a running head, obviously, my navigation up here, which is my name. It says selected works, the name of this particular project. This is sort of repeated on this particular page, but when you get to the other pages, this is supposed to, here, actually I need to change that to like a 2. Did that change? No, I didn't. But that's supposed to indicate like this is project 2 of 9, because I'm planning on having 9 projects in my portfolio. So that's, and then that'll be more necessary on the other pages. On this one, it's here bigger. But yeah, so then I got like this kind of key takeaway, which is sort of part of my concept, like a lessons learned sort of thing, like my personal commentary on this project and what I've learned from it. And then obviously just we got a project overview, then we got project details, things like, but then the actual project description was, what my title for the project was, the name of the class, who my instructor was, and the semester. So all that information has to fit on either 1 or 2 spreads. So this one here, I started this one off as a 2 spread thing. I'll show you the 2 spread thing in a second. Or actually here, this is the, here, I'll show you real quick. We hold Alt, we'll duplicate that up to here. All right, so this is the single spread, and I just gotta make a slight adjustment to this one here. So this one here is actually the 2 spread version, right? So instead of having that information there on the bottom as well, I bring it to a second page, put it on the bottom there, and the idea for this right hand page is to have a photograph of my process. And this is just a placeholder. This is just a mind map that I actually did for my portfolio, so just to kind of instantly kind of give me that indication that this is for process. I want to do something a little bit more refined. If I can find a photograph of somebody else's process. This is like kind of how somebody else did their process. They just had all these sheets of paper and they photographed it. I think this is a little bit more abstract and a little bit more creative than just taking a scanned image and placing it into an image box, but we'll see. But the idea is to have some sort of process. I need to show my process anyways, and I don't like the idea of taking up a whole spread for it. I think it's just a kind of page real estate wasted. But I mean, that's just me. I don't think I want to focus too much on process, mainly because I want to get into the cool work, and then I just honestly don't really have a whole lot of process that I think is worthy of showing people. I mean, obviously this is to show how I think as a designer, but I think that there's some things that you should just kind of keep for yourself. I mean, I don't think that all my process work is pretty, and some of it I just do on scratch paper and just end up throwing away afterwards because it's done its job. I didn't think at the time that I needed to keep it, and this is going back almost 4 years. So 4 years ago, I wasn't thinking, what am I going to put in my portfolio? So anyway, so the idea here, I mean, I've created a couple. This is sort of one style. Another style would be instead of just having a neutral color, to kind of have like a more muted color of the actual project. So this project here, the main color is kind of a purple color. So same sort of kind of feeling, but slightly different. This is another 2 spread kind of chapter opener. Again, you can kind of see how it's similar, but it's a little bit different. Text is a little bit bigger. The details are laid out a little bit more different. I'm still having the process image there, and this is the same layout but with that muted color instead. And then this is just a different sort of muted color, like a tan, almost sort of khaki color instead of a gray or color. This one here I thought was looking pretty good. The deal that I was running into this was that once I do 9 of these, it ends up looking more like a push pop or some sort of like really pastel-y, almost childish color palette, which I don't want. So I'm kind of on the fence of just having a muted color palette, like all of these being gray, and together that might not look good. You might just think, oh, they all look kind of plain, they're all kind of gray, but you have to think there's maybe like 20 to 30 pages in between of these of colorful projects, so it's not like it's going to be a boring book. It's just you got to think about what these are for. So anyway, so I got some more ideas here that I want to kind of sketch out, or I mean I have sketched them out but I have a couple ideas here that I want to put together on the computer, see if they're working, and maybe the plan is to kind of just put them together kind of rough, and then the ones that we think that are working best I will go back and refine. Some of these are going to be a lot different than what you're seeing. Some of them are going to be pretty similar. The idea is just to kind of be a little divergent at this point and try things out. So without further ado, I'm going to kind of get into this. I have some inspiration on this screen. I got some inspiration on my phone, so if you kind of see me looking different ways, it's either because I'm looking at inspiration or if I'm might be responding to a text or something. So very sort of chill stream, and if you guys got any questions, feel free to type in the chat and ask. I had one guy ask me to do some Photoshop work for him, but I'm not going to do that unless he joins in. So yeah, he had a question on like how to make something look photorealistic, so I don't know if he still needs my help with that or not, so I don't want to set aside the time to do that if he's not going to be around. Alright, let's take a sip of water and we'll get into it. Sorry if the webcam is kind of blocking the bottom left corner of my my canvas here. Hopefully I'll be kind of like scrolling around sometimes and you might be able to kind of see what I'm doing. So now I don't know if it's coming through on Twitch or not, but these are spreads. So there's a line right down the middle of this right now, so that way this is like the left page and then this is the right page, so hopefully that's obvious. I think it's a little bit more obvious when you see something like this and there's a solid break. So alright, so what I'll do is I have my navigation on here, and I'm up to kind of suggestions on this navigation as well. Like I think it's very simple, very straightforward. This is what my grid looks like. I have 3/4 of an inch on the top and bottom and on the inside, just to kind of give it some space, because I'm gonna have like things like, I think you guys have already seen this already, but like if this was just say if this was like a book or something, I'll have like book spreads kind of just like laid out. Like that. Actually, probably a little bit taller for books. But the idea is that I wanted to have something to align my books to and not have it be so close to the navigation. So I might drop this down to the other baseline there, so that way it's always on the bottom. I don't know yet. So well, that's just stuff to think about, because before I was like putting it right up against the baseline and then just doing like a shift click down, which isn't the best way to do it. So anywho, that's sort of what my grid looks like, and then I got the page numbers down there on the bottom outside corners. So I will drag this guy here, that, and which spread should I do? This one here, I had a picture on my phone that... And I'll try to show you kind of guys what I'm looking at on my phone. So... I saw this image on my phone. Saw this... Oh, it's not going to show up real well. But it's just big, bold Swiss typography. And I thought that was pretty interesting, so... I'm going to see what I can take from that and apply it to a spread. So I think that was on a black background. So that means all this here needs to be on white. That changed, right? That was just slow, okay. Actually, maybe this could be a color, but we'll keep it black for now and we'll see if we like it as a color later on. And if you're ever in InDesign and you're printing on an inkjet printer, this is my tip to you. Make sure you make a new swatch called 100% black or whatever you want. If you look at what InDesign by default gives you, it gives you, if you look at the CMYK formula here, it is, if I hover over it again, it's 000 which means that it's only giving you 100% of key, which you might think is black, but key is a little bit different than black. It's not as dark. So if you want that really rich, deep black, do 100% of everything. You're going to use more ink this way. So if you're trying to do like a cheap print job, don't do this. But if you really want that really nice sort of real deep black, this is how you do it. This is how you achieve it. Is 100% of everything. Because if you think of CMYK, it's additive color, I believe, right? It's additive, which means that to get black, you have to add everything. Versus RGB, which is subtractive, which means to get black, you get rid of everything. So that's kind of how it works. But yeah, keep in mind you'll use more ink that way. But when I didn't learn that until like my like towards the end of my second year of design school, and it made a huge difference. My project started looking a lot cooler. And I think once you figure that out, you're gonna really be impressed with the sort of designs that you can make. Just I don't know what it's about. It's just the black. The black makes a huge difference. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna lock this in the background. The typeface that I'm using right now is called San Francisco, which is the typeface that Apple has started using. I'm typing in San Francisco now. Okay, so what do I want to type in? That I want it to be... Okay, I'm just going to type in some text. Headline. Alright, headline. San Francisco display. We'll do semi-bold with a white color. And let's make this guy here probably like 100. I didn't highlight it. 100. We'll change the lighting to optical, tighten things up a little bit. And I still think that's a little bit too far apart, so maybe I might just do -5 tracking. It's a little bit better. I don't want to distort it too much from what the original typeface had in mind. I might even bring this down to 80. Okay. Whenever you're using a text box and you're using big type, you always want to make sure that you drag it over a little bit, just because the letter gets offset a little bit. You want to align the letter to the margin, not the actual text box. So we will bring this guy here, headline. And like I said, this is going to be very rough, so project description, we will reduce that by half and make that 40, and we'll make that right aligned. And we will just do this as lowercase. And I might even make this smaller. What does this look like? Actually, no, we'll keep that as title case. Change case, title. But we will make that a hair smaller. So we'll make that 30. Is 30 too small? Yeah, 30 is too small. 35 over 30. I like to work in even numbers. 34 over 38. Not that I'm assuming I'm going to have a second line on this or not, but just in case. What does this look like if it's just project 7? That's probably like the longest one, right? 1 through 9, 7. I think 6. No, yeah, 7 is the longest name. Is that weird though to kind of have it written out like that? Perception, deception. Typographic book design. Alright, and then we had some other text up here, which I think would be similar to this text. So I'm just going to copy that. And again, this is all just an idea. This isn't like me saying this is final. This is what it should be. I'm just shooting out ideas here. Trying to get it so that way it goes full bleed. Hmm. Okay, so that's one idea. I'm not going to stick around and try and refine it right now. I'm just going to move on to the next idea. So, bringing in another design here. That's the thing that really kind of stressed me out all day today was I would stick on one design all day, and I would, like, this design here, like, I don't know how, looking back on it, I don't know how this took me this whole day. And yesterday too, yesterday I went from this to this, and that's what it took me the whole day. And that's just from getting designer's block and then just sitting looking at this all day and then telling yourself, you know, it's not working, or is this working, and then you're just not figuring it out, and then you're not moving forward. So my idea today was just to chill out, think of something new, maybe try some sketching, watch some TV, relax a bit, and now I'm feeling a little bit more productive, so that's good. All right, so what was the deal with this image? Black text on colored BG. Okay, so this one here, I think I was wanting to do some sort of a duotone. So this guy here, I'll do this first. I think I wanted to do this with, did I want to do this with muted color? We'll try it out with both. So I have a Photoshop document open here with some colors that I was using. And you know what? I think I will do the more saturated color. I already dropped out. I did. So I'm going to drop in this color. Send that to the back. It's a little saturated, I guess. So maybe I don't know. I need to figure out the colors later. The idea is just to have a color. So not going to fret too much about that. I'm going to, I think I need to keep those. This guy here, I'm going to bring in an image. I'm kind of jumping around from project to project, but we will, the idea is just to get some stuff out. So going into my old semester, nope, fall. See if I can find these images. No. If you guys see, if you guys see a random photo pop up, I'm trying to find the right photo. So no, I mean that's not black and white. I wanted a different one here. I think it's over here. No, maybe not. That was week 5. Maybe it's in week 6. I need to get into the habit of just like packaging my InDesign file at the end of every project, so that way I know that everything that I'm looking for is going to be in one folder. And I didn't do that for this one. So I'm like trying to look through. I have like 15 different. Oh, here it is. Found it. So what was it? That was week 9. So we got to remember it's in week 9. So I'm going to bring this image here, drop this guy in, and I'm not going to have to do any Photoshop work, I don't think. I think I can just do this all in InDesign. Maybe for final I'll bring it into Photoshop, but the idea for this one was that I would just be able to bring it into InDesign. So this is a pretty cool image. This is what I did for that other project, the psychology book that you guys probably saw in my very first stream. I'm just going to do a multiply effect on this. That way it's duotone. See how much cooler that looks with a colored background? Okay, so that's in the background there. Kind of a pretty enticing image, I would say. Alright, so we got that guy there, Uncle Sam. We got that there. This here. We'll change our text to be white. That's readable, right? Maybe with that tiny little orange line going through, it's not so much. It's kind of tangent, huh? There we go. Alright, so, and then now I want to bring in some text. White text. What did I see for this one? I feel like I created all these based off of some sort of a design I saw. Oh, this is that one. Okay. So I think this text here is in the, oh yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, let's try this out. I'm just placing in random elements, so the idea is just to do some basic layout, as I said before, and then we'll go through and refine everything in a little bit. Like this one here is gonna obviously you need some sort of callouts to kind of indicate like this is gray, that was fall, typography 4, perception, deception, typographic book design. Just realized that I can add that second line of text here into my running head, which will prevent it from kind of being blank. So now we have, and again, like this running head is going to duplicate information on these chapter openers, but once we get onto the other pages, it will not. Perception, deception, typographic, conference, collateral, because you might not necessarily know what perception, deception is if I don't call it out specifically. If the image ever does this weird thing where it gets all blurry, that's just the computer being slow, so that's just the display performance. I have it on hide by default, but like when I set this to typical, then that's what it looks like. And when I set it to fast, it's just a gray box. So if you're working on like a 400-page document or something, you might not want to have everything be on high. You want to do that at the very end for printing. Anyways, so was this was very small. Actually, no, we got more room to deal with here, so we might make that bigger. That's here, and we'll do a 0, 1. Whatever is big enough to fit this, I think. So whatever, what does 50 look like? 70. I want the cap height of these numbers to be the same as that other text block. So we might do this to 80. Maybe that's big enough. Maybe 85. 85 might be a little bit too big, but we'll test it out. 85 looks on point, and then we'll just optically kind of center that. Anybody know why it adds more space to the top of the number when it's a bigger number? I never get that. Got that. Should I do 01 or should I do the 01 over 9 like I have been? Let's try that out. So that's 80. Maybe we should do something like 45 over 45, which is 01 over 09. A little bit too big, but I think I like that better. So I will actually do this a little bit different. Maybe we'll get the numbers right first, and I'll go through and show you what I was thinking. Oh, really? That's okay. Some plans to get rid of that. Make that left aligned, actually. That looks a little bit better, I think. It's always going to look weird from the number 1, which I'm not too sure on how to fix. But those numbers work better. And then I'll just come through over here and I'll add that slash, which is that. You know, the slash should always be a lighter weight than everything else. So I think you should always skip a weight. That looks about right. Cool. Okay, so we'll just pretend this is Project 3 for now, because I'm not going to like this idea if it doesn't work for 1. And any sort of number with the round number is going to extend out a little bit. So if we do it as a 2, I want to line this up with that end of the 2. So I guess we'll just pretend this is 2. Alright, so we got the number. Now we want to add some text down here. Why does the tracking on this look so weird? Oh, it's text. Why is this text? This should be display. Should be on optical as well. Whenever you do big type like this, you always want to make sure that the kerning up here is set to optical and not metric. You should only have metric for body copy or small details like this up here. Everything else should always be optical. It helps the spacing a little bit better. For some reason, the spacing needs to be a little bit different when you have it smaller. But for bigger type, you want to have it be optical. Manipulation of the mind. How big do they do this? They did theirs a little bit bigger. And I even had on my sketch here that I would have 2 lines. Now I'm trying to do a little bit different headlines than just like perception, deception. That's the name of the book, but maybe a little bit more catchy headline. I think manipulation of the mind is a lot more interesting. What's wrong with that? 50 over, let's do 50. And then I have some text underneath it, I think. Yeah. So this is the image here that inspired me for this one. Actually, here, I'll do this real quick. This is the one that inspired me for that one. You can kind of see it, I guess. There's like this duotone image on the left hand side and then a big bold thing of white text. So I think looking at this needs to be more saturated. But we'll figure that out. Yeah, I think even this image was not a full bleed image. Well, really quick, let's just see what this looks like when it's not full bleed. I think the spacing is a little bit weird. Yeah, I think we can just reuse the same body copy over here. Maybe we'll just bring this all the way down to the bottom this time though. Come on, move. It's kind of cool having text on top of there, isn't it? Come on. Oh, I need to include the quote too. My whole book kind of revolves around these quotes, so I keep forgetting to add those. Somehow all my sketches forgot the quote. So we're gonna have to figure that out. As you can see, this whole process is just kind of like trying something out, moving it around a little bit, seeing if it works. So I'm trying all this stuff out here and deciding if I like it or not. I like this. It's a very sort of like modular system, right? Now I'll just have to make sure that one of our design stuff in here kind of stays. Like all these paragraphs here will have to... Like this paragraph here was only this long. It'd look kind of odd. So I need to make sure that all my descriptions are always 5 lines long, my quotes roughly around this size, just because you don't want from project to project this line moving or that sort of stuff happening. You want it all to be kind of consistent. So the nice part about this is all my projects I'm writing myself. Can't decide if I like that there or not. I think I like it better without it. Okay. This one's kind of cool. And this states a new project, right? The number here is going to change. This is obviously the headline. It's not the name of the project, but it's a headline. Ugh. That information there can kind of just stay for now. I think I had like leading dots here, but they say not to use them, but I don't see the deal with them. I think they work good. I'm just going to do click, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we'll just do 3. Now we'll make this 0.5, and we'll change this to dotted. I don't know why this isn't the same. No, 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. No, this probably isn't the best method of doing things, but it works for me. Alright, so then we'll all bring these just to kind of like this half point here. That might be too much information down there, but we don't know yet. We'll see. Okay, so that's another one. Well, now what are we going to do? Our next one. Let's go to my next design. Next design, I think we can use all the same elements with the addition of maybe one. And then we'll try that out. Actually, I think it's pretty much the same design, really, with maybe one other thing on it. I think it might just be a slight different usage of photography on this one. No, I mean, we can try it out. I don't think this is going to be too much of a difference. The only difference that I had really was, actually, no, I'll have to do that later on. Hold on. Unlock. I still want this to be locked though, so I'm going to relock that. This guy here, I'm going to move that over. What happened? That was pretty much it. I mean, we already did all this stuff here, so don't really need to redo it. What would this look like if we move this up here, though? A little interesting, but then there's like this weird tunnel sort of thing going on. Okay, we'll leave this one out. We'll keep on moving here. I'm gonna kind of work off of this idea a little bit more. The idea for this one would be a multiple page spread. Or all spreads are multiple pages. This would be a multi-spread chapter opener. And I'm not too sure how it's going to work yet. Or maybe it could all just be one, actually. We'll see. What did I write down for the text? I had an idea for like what the type of text I wanted to use was, but so maybe this was it. What was this color again? That's actually kind of cool. I think those should be flipped though. And then from project to project that would change. Because this would be kind of more like this, right? And we might end up flipping this so that way it's reflective of this. The heck? I don't even need to say collateral, that's implied. Right? I'm a designer, that's what designers do. It's a typographic conference. That's what it was. Or hypothetically, right? This is just a school assignment. So is the letting on this now. Letting is fine. Project 1. Typographic conference. Perception, deception. I like that sort of gradient. I think that's neat. Very stark. Okay. Now the question is, do we leave it bare, or what does this look like if there's type on top of it? What is this? Do I have this type in white already? I don't think I do. Where'd it go? I have a feeling I'm not going to like it. It's a lot of black. I want to try this out with another project to see what it would look like. Kind of find a right picture. I'm going to try like a different, like completely different project just to kind of see what this would look like. Alright, I want to find one of my pictures online so that way I'm using my own nature picture. Alright, let's test this out. Is this seriously the best Facebook will let me download it? It's my own photo. Okay. It's on a hard drive somewhere, and I don't want to have to try and find it right now on stream, so... but this is just to kind of show an idea, I guess. I almost like it without the big image. Come on, why is it so slow? Trying to see if they're just throwing a duotone on it, or not duotone, a halftone will make it look better. Why do I have to redo this every time? Yeah, I'm not sure if it helps. I think that this looks a lot better. Looks a little bit more refined. I'm torn though, because I love how this one looks. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it for now. And then maybe I'll come back later and then figure it out. But let's see, where are we at so far? This one here, I'm not liking at all, so I'm just going to get rid of it. The idea was better in my head. This one here is cool. This one, maybe not. I think this one's working more than the other one. I'm liking this one a lot. Oop, sorry. That was probably loud, huh? Let's see if I can hear it. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it down. And then maybe I'll come back later and then figure it out. Let's see, what do we have so far? This one here, I'm not liking at all, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. Man, there's a delay, isn't there? I'm like watching what happened like 5 seconds ago. In my head. This one here is cool. This one, maybe not. Man, that's like a 20-second delay. Huh. Weird. Well, maybe it was just the slow internet. Who knows? Sorry, I was trying to watch to see what that, hitting the microphone, how loud it was. Because whenever I do it, I always feel like it's going to be super loud. But whenever somebody else does it on their stream, I feel like it's not that big of a deal. Man, this is a tough one. I feel like it works with and without it, so I'm just going to do a copy and I'll just leave it there. I'm liking this one, but I feel like something else needs to go over there. At first I was doing like the sort of overprinting thing, but I don't think that's working too much anymore. I really like the idea of overprinting too, which is a bummer. Because I've been doing the overprinting here, but I don't know how, like, if it helps at all. What will this look like if I... Oh, I didn't even click it and you think, what is this? That's weird. What did I click? Oh, maybe I need to buy some more RAM for this thing. Am I maxed out on RAM? I can still get more RAM. Why haven't I gotten more RAM yet? Should buy more RAM. It's only like 40, maybe it's only like $60 now. Because I have 16 gigs installed and I can get another. Actually, I could buy a lot more. I could, because the computer came with two 4 gigs. I think, right? The computer came with two 4 gigs. And I put in another 8 gigs. And I can put in an additional 8 and then eventually replace the two 4 gigs. But I think that my computer maxes out at a certain amount, so I need to look in to see if that's even worth it. I don't know. Is RAM even my issue? I'm not a big computer person. I know how to use computers. I mean, I use computers for work. I thought I locked this dude already. But oh my god. Ugh. I was thinking something like this, but then it's kind of like this pull sort of thing, and like it's drawing your eye too many places. This I think is working. Okay, let's see. Maybe we can do a couple more. This idea here might work. This idea was given to me by a friend. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go make a cup of coffee real quick, and then I'll come back and I'll do this idea. This idea here is actually to create. Here, I'll show you just the sort of sketch real quick. Okay, so the sketch is, or these two right here, these two here. The idea is to have the first one there, which is to have like a big number, a headline, and then some small details up here. But then the headline is going to bleed off to the right of the page. But then when you flip the page over, on the next page on the left side, then it's gonna follow through, and then on the last page, so the fourth page of this sort of opener would have all the sort of body copy text. So I'm gonna go get some coffee, and I'll be right back. Alright. I got coffee. It's decaf, but you know, it's still coffee. We were out of regular. Actually, I think we had one regular left, but I'm not about to stay up all night. It's already 11. And the sleep schedule thing messed me all up. We lost an hour last night. I woke up this morning and it's like 10 o'clock. And I'm like, what? It's 10 o'clock? Why is it so late? For me, sleeping in, and this is like sleeping in, like it's been a rough night. Sleeping in is 9 o'clock. So. Alright, well, best get back to it. Otherwise, I'm going to lose momentum. Why does it still say I'm being right back? Is that just a lag? We'll see. Alright, if it doesn't go back to us in a second, then I'm going to start worrying. OBS still says I'm streaming. I'll refresh the page one more time. Alright, let's see. Oh, that's right. We were going to do the one that kind of bleeds off the edge of the page. So, the idea was to have that be on a black background. So we'll see. Is this working? Like, I'm looking at the stream right now, and this is what it says the stream is. Alright. Oh wait, there it goes. Okay, there's just a huge lag. I don't know what the deal with this lag is. It doesn't seem so live to me. Is my internet just slow? It's still coffee. Man, that doesn't seem very efficient. I'm trying to have a conversation with somebody. It's gonna be really, really behind. So I'm sorry. I need to look into that. If anyone knows what causes that? I'm looking at OBS, and the information on the bottom is saying that I have an 8.7% dropped frame rate. That doesn't sound good. Kilobyte per second is 2,132. I'm assuming that's probably slow. Oh, it is talking about CPU, and I'm using 18% of my CPU, so I think I will start investing in some more RAM. Because I think that it's only when I stream is when it goes slow. So I'm thinking I'm going to get more RAM. Hopefully that'll help. If not, it'll help with Photoshop. Alright, anyways, let's do this. Let's make this guy black. Send him to the back. Lock. I'll select all those. Select the text. Make the text white. In here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is... I probably selected that. Oh, I already got rid of that. Okay, manipulation of... Why is that in all caps? Am I in all caps? I am. Okay, so now this just needs to go to title case. I feel like all of my titles are 2 words. Let me see. I have a list of all the different titles that they got. Oh, I guess not one. Working Man Beer, Organic Image. I still need. I don't have a good name for that one. This Xbox one. Exquisite embellishments, destination moon, income inequality, trek prep. But that's a name, so that's an individual. That's a one word. Manipulation of did I make this like 150? Whoa, that's way too big. Okay, never mind. 80. Again with the metrics. To optical -5. Bring that there. I think this could be even. 85. I feel like there's something to this one. Ooh, those same colors as before I think would work good here. And whatever color this text here was. And that text up here will be this information, but I don't think this is the best way to kind of show that information. At least on this spread. Other spreads it's working out great, not this one. I had a reference image for this idea and I'm just looking at that real quick. See, you can print colored type on a black background. I don't know what the deal is with that. She was telling me I couldn't do that. You just need to make sure that it prints right. If it doesn't print right, then that's an issue. But as long as you're doing it the right way, then or just to make her happy, you know, I could just do this instead. Okay. This. I can do this. Unlock all items on spread. I'll make this the color. Lock that. Then all my type here, I'm just going to make black. And then this is the first of two. Where did that text go? That text is supposed to go over there in the middle somewhere, so let's do this. We can just use this exact same chunk. How should this line up? Should it line up on the baseline, like right there? Or should this like line up? I think the cap height should line up with that line. Yeah, let's do this. Manipulation of the mind. No, wait, cut that off. Where did we cut it off before? So right on the end of the O. Manipulation of the mind. Where did I have that other line of text? I had like a lockup for the number. I think I deleted it, didn't I? That's 40 over 40. Feels like an elevator, doesn't it? That's gonna be too much to redo. One. We can make that light. Oh no, we were doing bold before, so that makes we should make that medium. Oh. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? I like this. This one. Let's see if this is too much of a stretch. Project. Description. Project. Title. Course. Semester. Instructor. I don't think it makes sense for the information to repeat. But I kind of like having something up there. Maybe not. Oh, it's already down there. See, I don't need it then. But something needs to be up here. No, this coffee's not that good. This is the McDonald's Keurig pods. It's just very watered down. What could I put up there? Does that feel optically centered to you? I know that they're touching. Here we go. Just all feels very top or bottom heavy, but I'm hoping that here's what we do. What comes first? The project and then that. Okay. Here's what we do. We get rid of that. I'm hoping just by having the navigation being the way that it is, it helps kind of counterbalance that, because the navigation's on the top, so that's kind of drawing your eye up there anyways, and then this kind of brings it down. I like this one. I still think it needs a little something, but we can figure that out in a bit. Okay, we have another one here that's a little crazier. So we will try that out, I guess. I'm going to copy this guy here. We'll work off of this guy. Let's start by just get rid of that. We'll unlock everything on this spread, except the background color. Background color will stay the same. All this stuff here, though, we're just going to move to the side, and then we'll bring it back in a little bit. So, okay, get comfy. It's going to be quite some work. I'm not just coming up with all this off the top of my head. I have a sketch in case you guys are kind of wondering on what the deal is. Huh, that's weird. Okay. Keeping this left line, the 0 will always stay in the same spot. Oh, they're looking kind of cool, huh? I know, and I haven't even put any actual text on here. Okay, so now what? We want some text roughly this size. I hadn't even thought of that. I think I like this better than what my idea was. My idea was to have like 2 lines of text going this way. But I like this a little bit more. I think this has got some potential. My initial idea was to have this text kind of be like down here. Be like in 2 columns, but I feel like that would make it feel a little floaty. I was just adding a few words in there to make the rag a little bit more balanced. See, now if I have some text over here, then I need to have something over here that corresponds with that. I don't know, I'm getting a little stuck now. I'm thinking that... Ow, that kind of hurt. I need to stop cracking my neck. I feel like I'm going to crack my neck one day and it's going to just break and I'm going to die. I could just do this whole thing's like vertical. This is cool. I'm liking where this is going, but it's got some problems. I think it's too broken up. But I don't know how to fix that without causing other issues. Like, this works well because it lines up with the top of this dash here, or this slash. But then if I move it back to where it was at the beginning, then this is too much open space. I have some inspiration over here that I'm trying to figure out. Well, why is this one better than what I got going on? I think it's got some different lines on it, I guess. And I have an idea for this. Is I can do this thing here. That's my logo. I'm wondering if it's worth it to keep it there, or if it has any place here or not. think I'm gonna call this one just good for now, and then come back to it later. I've kind of manipulated it enough, and I think I'm just gonna loosen it. Yeah. Definitely an interesting thought. I feel like I need something to kind of connect all these elements together. Yeah, I'm gonna make a duplicate of this real quick, and then I'm just gonna try something out. I'm gonna try out this. No, still running into the same issue. Never mind. Alright, I think I'm getting burnt out. I gotta finish this coffee. Let's do a quick little review. Alright, so we got this guy. We go here. There's something about this one I like. And I've liked all of these other ones. Like, I still think these are all really cool. But there's just something about how simple this is that I like. This one here, I think, it's got the potential to be good, but I think right now it's kind of all over the place. This one here I still think is very nice. I mean, this was kind of where we were starting at. This is our starting point. And we wanted to push past it. But I still think that this is a very nice layout. Part of me wants something to kind of interact over this white, but I don't think it needs it. So, yeah. What do you guys think? No, I've been kind of quiet, but I know we got a couple people in here. Hopefully you guys are still awake. I'm still awake. Hopefully you guys are too. Well, this one's supposed to be not supposed to have that one. Okay. Alright, I think I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to pick up on this again tomorrow. Might be streaming again sometime tomorrow night, probably. And if I am, I will either be finishing this up. Hopefully I have this done by then, though. But then I also want to do some Photoshop mock-ups for one of the projects that I've been doing. So I have a it's actually a branding project. I don't really do too much branding. I'm not a huge branding person. I don't really like it that much, just because I don't know, I feel like there's this level of abstractness to it that I'm not that good at, that is required for branding. But I will be doing some mock-ups for a logo that I did about a year and a half ago. So that'll be kind of interesting to see, just kind of seeing how the logo works on different elements. Actually, thinking about it now, it's probably going to be kind of boring, just a lot of Photoshop work, but it's still part of the process. So if you guys are interested in seeing how you take like a vector logo and then ooh, sorry. If you guys are interested in seeing how you take like a vector logo and then applying it to different like real world applications, and then just the process of Photoshop mockups, I guess, which is taking your flat file and making it look real. So anyways, keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, I'm going to try and wrap this up tomorrow and hopefully be done with these chapter openers. I've been working on these for a couple of weeks now, and actually almost 4 weeks now, almost a whole month. I've been working on these just chapter openers, so I'm hoping to wrap this up soon, so that way I can finish just focusing my time on like making the projects look good. So hey, anyways, thank you again for stopping by, and hopefully you guys like this video, and if you do, make sure you follow me. I'm documenting my whole portfolio process. There's lots more to come, so you don't want to miss out on that. Anyways, thanks again, and I will see you guys next time.